Hi, I'm George Levy for Bits Online, where cryptocurrency and technology media meet the future. And I'm coming to you from the North American Bitcoin Conference. Right now I have the opportunity to interview Mr. Ron Russo from GLX.com. You just got finished with your session. That was a phenomenal session, over 4,000 people.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Actually, even more exciting because we didn't think the conference was going to be this big, but it's kind of the euphoria. It's going wild here, which is great.
Absolutely. I was actually commenting in a previous session the fact that there's Lamborghinis everywhere you look now. It's just an incredible turnout.
Well, it is Miami.
Yeah.
So we know how it goes.
Yeah, but it's a very it's an interesting turnout for this event. It's actually a massive operation, and you worked the crowd incredibly. It was very good. Good session.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Very good session.
Always exciting. It was a lot of fun.
So one of the things that was interesting about your discussion, you were talking about the vision behind GLX.com. And it was interesting what you were positioning. From what I understand, GLX.com is a social network for the financial markets?
For the global capital markets, yes.
So define that, because when you say a social network, a lot of people would think, well, you know, you have a profile, you communicate, but at this moment what you're really doing is you're socializing different data fields. There's like so much data out there you're aggregating?
Data as well, yes. But in the heart, the social networking components are very important. And as I talked about in my presentation, and we clearly can validate by Facebook's success, and these are also Facebook's words: connect, communicate, share. Connect, communicate, share. If you really change the way Facebook and a global audience for social, and we can see their success, if you really can change the way people connect, communicate, share, you've built a better platform that people are going to be engaged on almost 24/7, or at least when they're at work, or at least when they're making decisions in their financial life, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
So let me ask you a question, because it's an interesting premise. So when I think Facebook, I think of people sharing memes and sharing like quotes, and so would you be doing, rather than like sending a pretty picture of a cat, you would be sharing like a financial statement?
Sending a stock quote,
interesting. Sharing
a financial statement. And I think what we've seen, and most people have seen the movie, is when they call themselves a social utility, and again, it's that tool or utility that lets people connect, communicate, share better, right? And then all of a sudden people discover that they want to share things that we didn't share before. And imagine when the financial markets start doing that. Imagine the deals that are going to be done, the different products that may come out, different relationships that may come out, could change the entire dynamics of finance, because there's discovery there.
So let me ask you another question, because one of the things that was interesting is this is a Bitcoin conference, but a lot of the angles also blockchain, and I'd like to understand how blockchain plays into your vision, or does it play into your vision? How does blockchain work?
Correct. And at the highest level, we are really trying to democratize access to market data and financial communications. So what I mean by that is, when we were younger, you had to buy a whole album. And at that point in time, the power was really with the record producers and the record distributors. iTunes flipped that, right? All of a sudden, the power is now with the artist and the consumer, and you could buy a single song. And you know, that's very powerful. In the financial markets, there's big financial data, is a $40 billion a year industry. And there's big Bloomberg, it's $2,000 a month, right? There's big bundles, no a la carte choices. You know, why do I have to pay $50 a month for every stock on NASDAQ to get a level 2 quote? What if I want a level 2 on Apple for one day, and it's 18 cents? You can't process an 18-cent transaction a million times a day with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. It's way too expensive. So the GLX token is the utility and the payment protocol on our network. It's an ERC20, Ethereum blockchain token. And it's absolutely necessary to really fuel the network. We couldn't do it with cash. So that is the first dynamic where blockchain really affects GLX. That's us using blockchain. We have a lot of ways that we think we can apply blockchain into our solution, that other people will be using blockchain on top of our solution. You know, and one is creating not a decentralized network, which is kind of true blockchain, as opposed to a completely centralized network like Facebook or LinkedIn, but to build a distributed network. And then we're doing things with cap table as a service and shareholder ledgers. So everything's a ledger in the financial markets.
Sure.
So we see ways that we could build blockchain into our platform and let other people build on top of that and use on top of that in our platform.
Excellent, excellent. Now the question I had also, there was a lot of conversation, actually I had heard about GLX.com and they were talking about that you're doing some forays into virtual reality, like there's all these different new technologies you're integrating into the whole thing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Slingshot VR is a New York City company, and it's just a great group of guys. And we got together and started talking about, how flat the world is and how communications and financial data, when dimension gets added to it, and some of these things that we see, Tony Stark moving screens around, I'm believing, and they're believing, that these things are a couple years away. And I think in terms of communications, it's obvious, and that could work for any platform, not just ours, although communicating in work and finance is very important. But I think it's going to end up adding dimensions to data that will really affect the way people consume data, the way they interpret it, the decisions they end up making around the data. And it's still very far off stuff, but I think it's because of this partnership with us to start doing some R&D and exploring and trying to get out way in front of the crowd on this.
Understood, and that's looking forward. Now, currently, right now, if somebody actually wanted to take advantage and go to GLX, right, can you tell us a little bit more, like how do we get access to GLX, learn more about it?
Yeah, so GLX is live. We've chose to launch as a lot of development is going on. It's live in alpha mode, and that's clear when you log in. The logo is alpha. But we do have utility in the network. We are using our tokens, so if you go and you're a new sign up, you get 10 free tokens to sign up. So the token is actually already in use. And what we're trying to do is anything, because we're in alpha, that's maybe like a dead end, a link that takes you to our feature and functionality poll, and we've been getting a lot of people filling out the feature functionality poll. We're trying to have the audience participate. What do they want to see come next, which is working out well. And we're hopefully, with another 30 days development, shifting to beta and looking for full launch about 6 months out.
Fantastic. Well,
and the audience is growing. We're very lucky.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for letting me know more about GLX.com. Wish you much success with all the new plans that you're putting out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For Bits Online, this is George Levy. Thank you for watching.